Question 1. What determines the program used to open a data file? A. File associations. B. File attributes. C. File extension. D. File name. Correct answer. A. File associations. File associations are system settings that determine which program opens a specific type of file by mapping file extensions to applications. This allows the operating system to automatically launch the appropriate software when a user opens a file, ensuring compatibility and ease of access. Question 2. What is the Mac OS X program that lets users manage application updates? A. Upgrade. B. Update. C. App Store. D. Applications. Correct answer. C. App Store. App Store is the Mac OS X program that allows users to manage application updates by providing a centralized platform for downloading, updating, and purchasing software. It ensures that applications remain up to date with the latest features and security patches. Question 3. Which utility in Mac OS X is used to stop a running application? A. Apple Stop. B. Kill App. C. Force Quit. D. PS. Correct answer. C. Force Quit. Force Quit is the utility in Mac OS X used to stop a running application by allowing users to forcibly close unresponsive or malfunctioning programs. It can be accessed through the Apple menu or by using the shortcut Command plus Option plus Escape. Question 4. How many drive letters does Windows allocate for use? A. 25, B. 26, C. 27, D. 28. Correct answer? B. 26. Windows uses 26 drive letters, AZ, to manage its file system, assigning each letter to a storage device like hard drives, USB drives, or network locations. While A and B were historically reserved for floppy drives, C is typically used for the primary hard drive. The other letters, from D to Z, are available for additional drives, partitions, or network resources. Question 5. Which transport layer protocol utilizes windowing for flow control and is considered a reliable connection-oriented protocol? A. Data link. B. HTML. C. IP. D. TCP. Correct answer. D. TCP. TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, is a reliable, connection-oriented transport layer protocol that utilizes windowing for flow control. It ensures data is delivered accurately and in order by establishing a connection before transmission, acknowledging received data, and retransmitting lost packets if necessary. Questions. What Mac OS X function is used for running first aid, partitioning a disk, and performing other disk maintenance tasks? A. Disk utility. B. Disk part. C. Drive care. D. F-disk. Correct answer. A. Disk utility. Disk utility is a Mac OS X function used for running first aid, partitioning a disk, and performing other disk maintenance tasks by allowing users to check and repair disk errors, create and manage partitions, and erase or format storage devices. It is an essential tool for maintaining system stability and managing storage efficiently. Question 7. Which term refers to a Linux GUI? A. Desktop elements. B. Desktop emulator. C. desktop environment. DD, desktop experience. Correct answer, C, desktop environment. Desktop environment is a Linux GUI that provides a graphical interface for users by integrating window managers, icons, panels, and applications to create a user-friendly experience. It enables users to interact with the system visually rather than through command line operations. Question 8. Which term is used to describe a single endpoint of a communication session on a network? A. Connection. B. MAC address. C. IP address. D. Socket number. Correct answer. D. Socket number. Socket number is a unique identifier used to define an endpoint in a network communication session. It consists of an IP address and a port number, allowing devices to establish connections and exchange data reliably. Question 9. Which tool is most effective for migrating multiple users from one system to another in larger organizations? A. User Data Migration Tool. B. User State Migration Tool. C. Windows Easy Transfer. D. Windows User Transfer. Correct answer. B. User State Migration Tool. User State Migration Tool is a Microsoft utility designed to migrate multiple users' data, settings, and application configurations from one system to another in large organizations. It is typically used in enterprise environments for automated deployments and bulk migrations. Question 10. Which recovery option introduced in Windows 8 8.1 allows you to reinstall Windows while keeping personal files and settings? A. Reinstall. B. Metro. C. Refresh. D. Defender. Correct answer. C. Refresh. Refresh is a Windows recovery option introduced in Windows 8 8.1 that allows users to reinstall Windows while keeping personal files and settings. This feature restores the operating system to its default state while preserving user data, installed apps from the Microsoft Store, and some system settings. Question 11. Which partition holds the hardware-specific files necessary to boot Windows? A. Data. B. Recovery. C. System. D. Windows. Correct answer, C. System. The system partition is a dedicated partition used to store the hardware-specific files necessary to boot Windows, including the boot manager and boot configuration data. It ensures that the system can start properly by managing the initial boot process before handing control over to the operating system. Question 12. Alex, an end user, recently updated his network password. A few minutes later, a pop-up appears asking him to enter the password again. After entering the new password, the same prompt keeps showing up. Which control panel tool can Alex use to resolve this? A. Credential Manager. B. Network and Sharing Center. C. Security and Maintenance. D. Troubleshooting. Correct answer, A. Credential Manager. Credential Manager is a Windows control panel tool used to store and manage saved usernames and passwords for network resources, websites, and applications. It allows users to update or remove outdated credentials, ensuring that the system uses the correct login information and preventing repeated authentication prompts. Question 13. Windows 8 introduces a virtualization technology that allows multiple physical disks to be organized into logical volumes, similar to RAID levels. What is the name of the control panel applet for this functionality? A. Disk management. B. Storage spaces. C. Administrative tools. D. Sync center. Correct answer? B. Storage spaces. Storage spaces is a virtualization technology introduced in Windows 8 that allows users to combine multiple physical disks into logical volumes, providing RAID-like redundancy and flexible storage management. It enhances data protection and scalability by enabling the creation of storage pools that can dynamically expand while safeguarding against drive failures. Question 14. Which user type should be used in a Windows environment to grant Internet access without allowing the user to permanently store files on the system? A. Local administrator. B. Standard user. C. Power user. D. Guest user. Correct answer. D. Guest user. Guest user is a Windows user type that allows temporary access to the system without granting permission to permanently store files or make system changes. It is designed for limited use, such as providing Internet access or basic application usage, ensuring that no personal data or settings are retained after the session ends. Question 15. What is the minimum hard drive space required for a 32-bit installation of Windows 8? A. 16 GB. B. 20 GB. C. 24 GB. D. 28 GB. Correct answer. A. 16 GB. Microsoft requires a minimum of 16 GB of free hard drive space for the installation of the 32-bit version of Windows 8. This space is necessary to accommodate system files, essential components, and basic functions of the operating system. Question 16. Where is the disk management utility located? A. Array tools. B. New volumes. C. Control panel. D. System tools. Correct answer. D. System tools. System tools is a Windows utility that contains disk management, which allows users to create, format, resize, and manage disk partitions. It is accessed through the Computer Management Console, providing essential tools for disk and volume management to ensure efficient storage allocation and system performance. Question 17. What is the quickest way to access the properties of an object in Windows? A. Double-click and select Properties. B. In Control Panel, select the properties Applet. C. Left-click and select Properties. D. Right-click and select Properties. Correct answer. D. Right-click and select Properties. Right-click and select Properties is the quickest way to access the properties of an object in Windows. This method provides a direct context menu option for viewing and modifying settings related to files, folders, and system components, enhancing user efficiency and accessibility. Question 18. In the services snap-in, which service state is not possible? A. Detached. B. Disabled. C. Started automatically. D. Started manually. Correct answer. A. Detached. In the services snap-in, services can have different states, including disabled, started automatically, or started manually. These states control when and how a service operates. For instance, a disabled service cannot be started. A started automatically service runs as soon as the system boots, and a started manually service is initiated only by the user or another process. Question 19. What task does the P option with the mkdir command perform? A. Creates subfolders as well as folders. B. Prompts the user before creating files. C. Prompts the user before creating subfolders. D. None of the above. Correct answer. A. Creates subfolders as well as folders. The Type P option with the mkdir command allows users to create a directory along with any missing parent directories, ensuring a seamless directory structure creation. This is useful for automating folder setup and avoiding errors due to non-existent parent directories. Question 20. A user moves a file from one NTFS disk to another NTFS disk. Which of the following best describes the changes to the file's permissions? A. The file has both the source and destination permissions. B. The file keeps the source permissions. C. The file permissions need to be set manually. D. The file receives the destination permissions. Correct answer? D. The file receives the destination permissions. When a file is moved from one NTFS disk to another NTFS disk, it is treated as a copy and delete operation, meaning the file is created as a new file on the destination disk. As a result, the file receives the destination folder's permissions, inheriting its access control settings rather than retaining those from the original location. How many questions did you get right? Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Question 1. An application is installed and configured locally on a workstation, but saves all files to a different workstation on the network. Which of the following best describes this configuration? A. Network-based. B. Client/server. C. Application streaming. D. Peer-to-peer. Correct answer. B. Client-server. A client/server configuration describes a setup where one device, the client, requests services or resources from another device, the server. In this scenario, the application is installed and runs on the client workstation, but stores files on a separate server workstation within the network. This means the client handles the application's processing, while the server is responsible for managing file storage. Question 2. If a device in Windows fails after a driver update, where can the driver be restored to its previous version? A. Device Manager. B. Windows Update menu. C. Programs and Features menu. D. Task Manager. Correct answer A. Device Manager. Device Manager is a built-in tool in Windows that allows users to manage hardware devices and their drivers. If a device fails after a driver update, users can restore the previous driver version by accessing the Driver tab in the device's properties within Device Manager. This action helps undo potentially problematic updates, ensuring the device functions properly again. Question 3. Which Apple software utility allows for the installation of an alternative OS in a multi-boot environment? A. Boot Camp. B. VirtualBox. C. Hyper-V. D. VMware Player. Correct answer A. Boot Camp. Boot Camp is an Apple software utility that allows users to create a multi-boot environment on macOS systems. It provides the ability to install and run alternative operating systems, such as Windows, on Mac hardware by partitioning the hard drive and enabling seamless switching between macOS and the other OS. Question 4. In the system configuration, Utility, which tab contains a list of background applications that can be enabled or disabled during system startup. A. Boot. B. Applications. C. Services. D. General. Correct answer: C. Services. In the System Configuration utility, also known as emsconfig, the Services tab displays a list of background services that can be enabled or disabled. These services are essential processes running in the background, and users can toggle their status to troubleshoot or optimize system performance. Question 5. Which operating system uses the web browser named Edge, replacing the older browser software? A. Windows 7. B. Windows 8. C. Windows 8.1. D. Windows 10. Correct answer: D. Windows 10. Microsoft Edge is a web browser introduced with Windows 10 that replaced Internet Explorer as the default browser. It offers faster performance, better security, and new features such as integration with Cortana and support for modern web standards. Question 6. What is the minimum amount of RAM required to install a 64-bit version of Windows 8? A. 1 GB. B. 2 GB. C. 4 GB. D. 8 GB. Correct answer: B. 2 GB. The minimum amount of RAM required to install a 64-bit version of Windows 8 is 2 GB. This is specified by Microsoft as the minimum system requirement for the 64-bit version of the operating system. For a 32-bit version of Windows 8, the minimum RAM requirement is 1 GB. Question 7. Which tool should you use if there are corrupt clusters on your disk? A. Disk management. B. CHKDSK. C. DiskPart. D. SFC. Correct answer: B. CHKDSK. CHKDSK, check disk, is a built-in Windows utility used to scan and repair file system errors, including corrupt clusters on a disk. It checks the disk for bad sectors, file system errors, and physical issues, and attempts to fix them. Question 8. A technician notices a workstation is connecting to an IP address on the network and wants to determine the machine name that corresponds to that IP address. Which command should the technician use? A. gpresult. B. ipconfig. C. enslookup. D. netuser. Correct answer: C. enslookup. The enslookup command is used to query DNS domain name system to resolve an IP address into a host name or vice versa. This allows the technician to determine the machine name, host name, associated with a given IP address on the network. Question 9. What method can you use to start a program that doesn't have a shortcut on the desktop or in the program's submenu? A. Typing CMD in the start box, followed by the program name. B. Typing the program name in the start box. C. Using the run command and typing the name of the program. D. Using the shutdown command. Correct answer: B. Typing the program name in the Start box. In Windows, if a program doesn't have a shortcut on the desktop or in the program's menu, you can still quickly open it by typing the program's name in the Start menu's search box. As you type, the search feature will automatically display a list of installed programs, and you can launch the desired program by clicking on its name in the results. Question 10. What is the maximum file name length in Windows? A. 255 characters. B. 64 characters. C. 32 characters. D. 8 characters. Correct answer, A. 255 characters. In Windows, the maximum length for a file name, including the file name and extension, but not the full file path, is 255 characters. This limit applies to files stored on NTFS and FAT32 file systems. Question 11. Which tab in the msconfig utility in Windows lists options for startup configuration modes? A. Services. B. Boot. C. General. D. Startup. Correct answer, C. General. msconfig is a system configuration tool in Windows used for troubleshooting and adjusting startup settings. The General tab in msconfig offers options for selecting the startup mode. These include Normal Startup, loads all system services and startup programs. Diagnostic Startup, loads only the essential services to help with troubleshooting. Selective Startup, allows users to pick which services or startup items to load for more customization. Question 12. A user is trying to install a large .dmg file on a Windows computer but receives an error message. What is likely causing the issue? A. Small hard drive. B. Insufficient RAM. C. OS compatibility. D. Folder permissions. Correct answer, C. OS compatibility. DMG files are disk image files primarily used on Mac OS. Windows computers cannot natively open or install DMG files because they are not compatible with the Windows operating system. To resolve this issue, the user would need to convert the DMG file to a format compatible with Windows or use specialized third-party software to access its contents. Question 13. When a program in Windows stops responding or encounters an error, logs detailing the issue can be reviewed using. Question 13. When a program in Windows stops responding or encounters an error, logs detailing the issue can be reviewed using. Correct answer, A. Event Viewer. Event Viewer is a Windows utility used to review logs and diagnose issues when a program stops responding or encounters errors. It records application, system, and security-related events, which can help users identify the root cause of a problem. Question 14. A technician is updating a Windows computer to the latest OS version. The customer wants to keep their settings and installed programs. Which installation type should the technician use to meet these requirements? A. In place. B. Unattended. C. Clean. D. Repair. Correct answer, A. In place. An in-place upgrade updates the operating system while preserving the customer's settings, installed programs, and personal files. It ensures a seamless transition to the latest OS version without the need for reconfiguring or reinstalling applications. Question 15. Which tab in the System Configuration utility in Windows includes the Diagnostic Startup option? A. Tools. B. General. C. Services. D. Startup. Correct answer. B. General. General is a tab in the System Configuration utility in Windows that provides options for selecting the startup mode. It includes Normal Startup, loads all system services and startup programs. Diagnostic Startup, loads only essential services and drivers to help with troubleshooting. Selective Startup allows users to choose specific services and startup items to enable or disable, offering more control over system boot behavior. Question 16. What is located on the far right side of the taskbar? A. Notification area. B. Quick Launch. C. Shutdown options. D. Start menu. Correct answer. A. Notification area. The notification area, also known as the system tray, is located on the far right side of the taskbar in Windows. It displays icons for system notifications, background apps, network status, volume control, and the clock, among other system features. Question 17. Which process restores a drive to a condition close to new by writing zeros to all locations on the disk? A. Degaussing. B. Disk cloning. C. Low-level format. D. Standard format. Correct answer. C. Low-level format. Low-level format is a process that restores a drive to a condition close to new by writing zeros to all locations on the disk. It erases all existing data at the physical level, preparing the drive for use by defining sectors and tracks, ensuring a completely clean slate for new data storage. Question 18. What type of resources can be configured in Device Manager? A. Applications. B. Files and folders. C. Hardware. D. Memory. Correct answer. C. Hardware. Device Manager is a tool in Windows that enables system administrators and users to manage the computer's hardware resources. It offers a central location to view and configure devices like network adapters, storage devices, printers, and display adapters. By using this tool, users can verify that their hardware is functioning properly. Question 19. In Linux, which command can be used to end a process? A. End task. B. Kill. C. Kill task. D. Terminate. Correct answer. B. Kill. In Linux, the kill command is used to terminate processes. It sends a specified signal to the process, with the default signal being sigterum, which requests the process to gracefully stop. If the process doesn't terminate, stronger signals such as sigkill can be used to forcefully stop it. Question 20. Which program, running on top of the OS, allows users to issue commands through a set of menus or another graphical interface? A. Desktop. B. Shell. C. Source. D. Taskbar. Correct answer. B. Shell. Shell is a program running on top of the OS that allows users to issue commands through a set of menus or another graphical interface. It acts as an interface between the user and the operating system, enabling interaction through either a command line interface, CLI, or a graphical user interface, GUI. How many questions did you get right? Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Question 1. To run Windows or Linux natively on a Mac, which tool would you use? A. Wine. B. Mac OS Explorer. C. IPC. D. Boot Camp. Correct answer. D. Boot Camp. Boot Camp is a Mac OS utility that allows users to run Windows or Linux natively on a Mac by partitioning the hard drive and enabling dual boot functionality. It provides the necessary drivers and support for running a non-Mac OS operating system without virtualization. Question 2. In the Windows Disk Management utility, disk arrays can be created by right-clicking on a disk and selecting the array type from the context menu. A. True. B. False. A. True. B. False. In the Windows Disk Management utility, disk arrays can be created by right-clicking on a disk, selecting New Volume, and choosing the desired array type, such as spanned, striped, RAID 0, mirrored, RAID 1, or RAID 5. This allows users to configure disk redundancy, performance improvements, or storage expansion. Question 3. A user is frequently receiving error messages related to the hard drive on their Windows workstation. Which command line utility should be used to check the drive's integrity? A. Defrag. B. Fdisk. C. chkdsk. D. fsck. Correct answer. C. chkdsk. chkdsk is a command line utility in Windows used to check and repair hard drive integrity. It scans the disk for file system errors, bad sectors, and other issues that may cause data corruption or system instability. By using parameters such as /f to fix errors and rr to locate and recover readable data from bad sectors, chkdsk helps maintain drive health and prevent potential data loss. Question 4. An administrator is setting up a new Linux server. Which file system is most likely to be chosen for the primary partition? A. exFAT. B. NTFS. C. XT3. D. swap. Correct answer. C. XT3. The XT3, Third Extended File System, is a journaling file system widely used in Linux systems. It logs changes to the file system in a journal before they are applied, which aids in data recovery if there is an unexpected shutdown or crash. It ensures data integrity and is suitable for the primary partition where the operating system and essential files are stored. Question 5. What is the operating system feature that enables a single application to make multiple requests to the processor simultaneously? A. Dystopia. B. Multithreading. C. Multi-user mode. D. Preemption. Correct answer. B. Multithreading. Multithreading is an operating system feature that allows a single application to execute multiple tasks concurrently by dividing its workload into multiple threads. Each thread can be scheduled and processed independently by the CPU, improving efficiency and responsiveness, especially in multi-core systems. Question 6. What is the best approach to upgrade from Windows Vista Home Basic Edition to Windows 10? A. Upgrade first to Windows 7 Home Basic. B. Upgrade to Windows 10 Enterprise. C. Upgrade to Windows 10 Home. D. Upgrade to Windows 10 Pro. Correct answer. A. Upgrade first to Windows 7 Home Basic. Windows Vista does not support a direct upgrade to Windows 10. The best approach is to first upgrade to Windows 7 Home Basic, which supports an in-place upgrade from Vista. Once on Windows 7, the system can then be upgraded to Windows 10 Home through the standard upgrade process. Question 7. What version of DirectX is required for all versions of Windows from Vista to 10? A. DirectX 10, B. DirectX 11, C. DirectX 8, D. DirectX 9. Correct answer: DirectX 9. DirectX 9 is a graphics API required for compatibility with all Windows versions from Vista to 10. It provides essential support for multimedia applications, including gaming and video rendering, by enabling communication between software and hardware. While newer versions like DirectX 10 and 11 introduce enhanced features, DirectX 9 remains necessary for backward compatibility with older applications. Question 8. What term is used to identify a single endpoint of a communication session on a network? A. IP address, B. MAC address, C. Connection, D. Socket number. Correct answer: D. Socket number. Socket number is a unique identifier used to distinguish a single endpoint of a communication session on a network by combining an IP address and a port number, ensuring proper data delivery to the intended application. Question 9. What feature allows you to place a weather application on the Windows 7 desktop? A. Arrow, B. Desktop Gadgets, C. Sidebar, D. XP Mode. Correct answer: B. Desktop Gadgets. Desktop Gadgets is a feature that operates as part of the Windows 7 user interface. It is responsible for displaying small applications, such as a weather app, clock, or calendar, ensuring users have quick access to useful information directly on the desktop without opening full applications. Question 10. Which installation method allows a technician to resolve issues that may occur during the installation process? A. Unattended installation, B. Remote installation, C. Repair installation, D. Image deployment installation. Correct answer: C. Repair installation. Repair installation is an installation method that allows a technician to resolve issues that may occur during the installation process. It ensures that system files are repaired or replaced without deleting user data and applications, making it useful for troubleshooting system corruption or failed updates. Question 11. A technician is adding a folder to a structure that is several levels deep from the top. To ensure the new folder inherits the same permissions as the top level, which setting should the technician configure? A. Attributes, B. Shares, C. Inheritance, D. Replication. Correct answer: C. Inheritance. Inheritance is a feature in folder permissions that ensures a new folder automatically adopts the same permissions as its parent folder. This allows for consistent access controls throughout a hierarchical folder structure, simplifying permission management and maintaining security. Question 12. Until users activate Windows 10, which restriction will be applied to the operating system? A. They won't be able to browse the Internet. B. They won't be able to change the wallpaper. C. They won't be able to launch applications. D. They won't be able to run Windows updates. Correct answer: B. They won't be able to change the wallpaper. Until users activate Windows 10, personalization options such as changing the wallpaper and modifying themes are restricted. However, essential functions like browsing the Internet, launching applications, and running Windows updates remain available, ensuring basic usability of the operating system. Question 13. Which partition is used to boot the operating system? A. Dynamic partition. B. Extended partition. C. Logical partition. D. Primary partition. Correct answer. D. Primary partition. The primary partition is used to boot the operating system. It contains the bootloader and system files required for startup. On Windows systems, the active primary partition holds the boot sector and is necessary for loading the OS. Without a properly configured primary partition, the computer cannot start the operating system. Question 14. This tool organizes files on a hard drive by moving file blocks to create continuous files and free space. What is it? A. Disk defragmenter. B. ScanDisk. C. Windows Backup. D. Windows File Explorer. Correct answer. A. Disk defragmenter. Disk defragmenter is a tool that organizes files on a hard drive by moving file blocks to create continuous files and free space. It improves system performance by reducing fragmentation, allowing faster file access and more efficient disk usage. Question 15. How much disk space is needed to install the 64-bit version of Windows 10? A. 16 GB. B. 20 GB. C. 24 GB. D. 60 GB. Correct answer. B. 20 GB. The 64-bit version of Windows 10 requires a minimum of 20 GB of available disk space to install. This space ensures the operating system has room for essential files and system processes. Question 16. Which OS X and Linux command line commands provide process information, similar to the Task Manager's Processes tab? A. PS. B. PSAUX. C. Stat. D. Top. Correct answer. D. Top. The top command in OS X and Linux provides real-time process information, similar to the Processes tab in Task Manager. It displays active processes, CPU and memory usage, and other system performance details, allowing users to monitor and manage running applications efficiently. Question 17. Which utility on a Mac would you use to erase and format drives? A. Time Machine. B. iFormat. C. Spotlight. D. Disk Utility. Correct answer. D. Disk Utility. Disk Utility is a built-in Mac OS tool used to erase, format, and manage drives. It allows users to partition disks, repair disk errors, and create disk images. This utility is essential for preparing storage devices for use or troubleshooting disk-related issues. Question 18. Which command, when entered in the Start search box, will open the command line interface in Windows? A. CMD. B. Command. C. Shell. D. Terminal. Correct answer. A. CMD. The CMD command, when entered in the Start search box, opens the command prompt in Windows. The command prompt is a command line interface, CLI, that allows users to execute system commands, run scripts, and troubleshoot issues. Question 19. Which Windows built-in software component monitors network traffic and either blocks or permits packets to pass based on the applied settings? A. Security Center. B. Windows Firewall. C. Action Center. D. Windows Defender. Correct answer? B. Windows Firewall. Windows Firewall is a built-in software component in Windows that monitors network traffic and either blocks or allows packets based on predefined rules. It helps protect the system from unauthorized access by filtering both inbound and outbound traffic, ensuring network security. Question 20. 6 months after the release of a new OS version, users began losing access to application updates. What is the most likely cause of this issue? A. Update limitations. B. Limited access. C. End of life. D. Network connection. Correct answer. C. End of life. End of life, EOL, is a software lifecycle stage where an operating system or application is no longer supported by the manufacturer, meaning it stops receiving updates, security patches, and technical support. When an OS reaches its EOL, developers may discontinue application updates for that version, leading to compatibility issues and loss of functionality. How many questions did you get right? Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Question 1. To test network connectivity, which utility would you use? A. DXDiag. B. Netstat. C. Ping. D. Telnet. Correct answer. C. Ping. Ping is a network utility used to test network connectivity by sending ICMP echo request packets to a specified IP address or host name and measuring the response time. It helps determine if a remote device is reachable and can diagnose network issues such as latency, packet loss, or connection failures. Question 2. Which Mac OS feature can be used to store passwords, private keys, and secure notes? A. Bootcamp. B. Keychain. C. Parallels. D. Spotlight. Correct answer. B. Keychain. Keychain is a Mac OS feature that stores passwords, private keys, and secure notes. It securely manages sensitive information by encrypting it and making it easily accessible for applications and services that require authentication or encryption, ensuring a secure environment for users. Question 3. In Linux, which command allows you to execute a single command as a different user? A. ifconfig. B. passwd. C. su. D. sudo. Correct answer. D. sudo. Sudo is a command in Linux that allows a user to execute a single command as a different user, typically with elevated root privileges. It stands for super user do and is commonly used to perform administrative tasks while maintaining security by requiring the user to enter their password. Question 4. To evaluate if your current system can be upgraded to Windows 8, which tool should you use? A. Windows Administrative Tools. B. Windows Compatibility Advisor. C. Windows Upgrade Assistant. D. Windows Upgrade Wizard. Correct answer. C. Windows Upgrade Assistant. The Windows Upgrade Assistant is a tool provided by Microsoft that helps users evaluate whether their current system meets the requirements for upgrading to a newer version of Windows. It checks for compatibility issues, hardware requirements, and potential software conflicts before proceeding with the upgrade. Question 5. Which of the following is used for building secure entry and computer access? A. Smart card. B. Personal identity verification card. C. Hardware tokens. D. Key fobs. Correct answer, A. Smart card. A smart card is a physical device used for secure entry and computer access. It typically contains an embedded microchip that stores cryptographic keys or other forms of authentication data, ensuring that only authorized users can access restricted systems or locations. Question 6. When trying to install a new program, the user is told that the workstation meets the memory requirements but doesn't have enough free space. Due to time constraints, the user needs a quick solution to install and access the program. What is the best option? A. Install to a network drive. B. Install to a USB drive. C. Install to a DVD-RW. D. Install to a secondary internal HDD. Correct answer, A. Install to a network drive. Installing a program to a network drive is an alternative solution when a workstation does not have enough free space. By utilizing a network drive, the program can be accessed and used without the need for additional hardware or physical storage on the local system, provided there is a stable network connection and proper permissions are set. Question 7. To bring up Spotlight while using an app, which key combination should you use? A. Alt plus Home. B. Command plus Spacebar. C. Control plus Shift. D. Option plus Tab. Correct answer. B. Command plus Spacebar. Spotlight is a search feature on Mac OS that allows you to quickly find files, applications, and other content. To bring up Spotlight while using an app, you can press Command plus Spacebar. This combination opens the Spotlight search bar, allowing you to search for items on your Mac without leaving the current app. Question 8. Which of the following tasks cannot be performed using the disk management tool? A. Display the number of hard disks installed on the computer. B. Create drives. C. Format disks. D. Install a floppy drive. Correct answer. D. Install a floppy drive. The disk management tool in Windows is used for managing and configuring storage devices such as hard drives, SSDs, and partitions. It allows users to perform tasks like creating drives, formatting disks, and viewing information about installed storage devices. However, it cannot be used to install hardware devices like a floppy drive. To install a floppy drive, you need to physically connect the drive to the system and configure it through other methods, such as using Device Manager or BIOS settings. Question 9. Which of the following starts first when a Windows system is powered on? A. BIOS. B. Boot Dyni. C. Boot MGR. D. MBR. Correct answer, A. BIOS. When a Windows system is powered on, the BIOS basic input-output system starts first. The BIOS initializes hardware components, performs the power-on self-test, POST, and locates the bootable device to begin the boot process. Question 10. A user calls the help desk, stating that he can't connect to the network. He suspects his patch cable may be faulty. What is the quickest way for him to test the network cable? A. Run link test from a command line. B. Check the link status indicator next to the RJ45 connection. C. Reboot his system. D. Connect to the Internet. Correct answer. B. Check the link status indicator next to the RJ45 connection. The quickest way to test if a network cable is functional is to check the link status indicator, usually an LED, next to the RJ45 port. If the LED is lit or flashing, it generally indicates that the physical connection is working properly. If it is off, the cable or connection may be faulty. Question 11. Which OS X feature allows users to boot into Windows on Apple computers? A. Boot Camp. B. Launcher. C. Multiboot. D. BootNGR. Correct answer. A. Boot Camp. Boot Camp is a Mac OS feature that allows users to install and run Windows on Apple computers. It provides a simple way to set up a dual boot configuration, enabling users to choose between Mac OS and Windows during startup. Question 2. In Windows, where can you retrieve a file that has been deleted? A. Control Panel. B. My Computer Icon. C. Recycle Bin. D. Settings app. Correct answer. C. Recycle Bin. When a file is deleted in Windows, it is usually not permanently removed right away. Instead, it is moved to the recycle bin, where it can be recovered if needed. The file remains in the recycle bin until it is either restored or permanently deleted. Question 13. For immediate recovery, which type of backup is typically stored on-site at the computer center? A. Cloud copies. B. Journal copies. C. Man-in-the-middle. D. Working copies. Correct answer. D. Working copies. Working copies are backups stored on-site at the computer center to ensure immediate recovery in the event of data loss or system failure. These are readily accessible and allow for quick restoration without relying on off-site locations or external networks. Question 14. A technician is using the command line to perform tasks on a Windows OS and needs to check which ports are currently being used for TCP listening. Which command should the technician use? A. Netstat. B. Netuse. C. Lookup. D. Ping. Correct answer. A. Netstat. Netstat, Network Statistics, is a command line tool that provides information about network connections, including which ports are currently being used for TCP listening. It is commonly used to display active connections, listening ports, and routing tables on a Windows machine. Question 15. What should a technician do when the default Windows driver for a video card doesn't support the necessary features? A. Install the third-party driver from the manufacturer's website. B. Update the default Windows driver using Windows Update. C. Flash the firmware in the BIOS to the latest version. D. Replace the video card with one that is supported natively by Windows. Correct answer. B. Update the default Windows driver using Windows Update. Updating the default Windows driver using Windows Update is a recommended first step when the default driver does not support necessary features. This process ensures that the system attempts to install the latest compatible version provided by Windows, which may resolve functionality issues without additional manual intervention. Question 16. A help desk employee is assisting a user who can print to the network printer but cannot access the Internet. What is a possible cause of this issue? A. The default gateway is down. B. The user's system has a virus. C. The user has an incorrect IP address assigned to their PC. D. The PC is in sleep mode. Correct answer, A. The default gateway is down. The default gateway is responsible for routing traffic from the local network to external networks, such as the Internet. If the default gateway is down or unavailable, the user may still be able to access devices within the local network, like the network printer, but they will not be able to access resources outside the network, including the Internet. Question 17. If EFI is used, where is the boot configuration data stored in a Windows 10 installation? A. C. Windows. B. EFI system partition. C. Secure boot partition. D. WinRE partition. Correct answer, EFI system partition. The EFI system partition is a dedicated partition on a hard drive that stores boot-related files when using the extensible firmware interface for a Windows 10 installation. It holds critical files for the boot process, including the boot configuration data, which contains the configuration information needed to load the operating system. Question 18. Which control panel applet allows access to important system information and tools, like Device Manager? A. Add or remove programs. B. Display. C. Program options. D. System. Correct answer. D. System. The System applet in Control Panel is used to access key system information and tools, such as Device Manager. This applet allows users to view and manage essential hardware components, configure system settings, and monitor the performance of their PC. Question 19. Which edition of Windows Vista does not support Aero? A. Ultimate. B. Enterprise and Business. C. Home Premium. D. Home Basic. Correct answer. D. Home Basic. Home Basic is an edition of Windows Vista that does not support the Aero graphical interface, which provides features like transparency effects and live thumbnails. Aero requires higher-end hardware and is only available in Home Premium, Business, Enterprise, and Ultimate editions. Question 20. While in command line mode, a user finds an old empty directory no longer in use. Which command will remove the directory? A. Xcut. B. Delete. C. RD. D. Erase. Correct answer, C. RD. RD is a command used in the Windows command line to remove an empty directory by deleting it from the file system. If a directory contains files or subdirectories, the Add-S switch can be used to remove it along with all its contents, ensuring efficient directory management. How many questions did you get right? Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Question 1. What is the maximum number of simultaneous connections that can be made to a Windows 10 workstation? A. 10 connections. B. 15 connections. C. 20 connections. D. 25 connections. Correct answer, C. 20 connections. 20 connections is the maximum number of simultaneous inbound connections allowed on a Windows 10 workstation by limiting network access for file sharing and remote connections. This restriction is designed to manage system resources efficiently and encourage businesses requiring more connections to use Windows Server for enterprise-level networking. Question 2. A user reports that they can print to the network printer but cannot access the Internet. What could be the cause of this issue? A. The PC is in sleep mode. B. The default gateway is down. C. The user has the wrong IP address assigned to their PC. D. The user's system has a virus. Correct answer? B. The default gateway is down. The default gateway is responsible for directing traffic between the local network and external networks like the Internet. If the default gateway is down, the user would still be able to access devices within the local network, such as a network printer, but would be unable to connect to the Internet. Question 3. What type of installation does Microsoft refer to as an in-place upgrade? A. Clean installation. B. Image deployment. C. Repair installation. D. Upgrade installation. Correct answer? D. Upgrade installation. Upgrade installation is the type of installation that Microsoft refers to as an in-place upgrade. This process allows users to install a newer version of Windows over an existing one while keeping files, settings, and applications intact, minimizing disruption compared to a clean installation, which erases all data. Question 4. A technician is setting up a computer for several users to access it via remote desktop. For security reasons, the users should not be able to install software or modify system settings. Which control panel utility should the technician use to achieve this? A. Network and Sharing Center. B. Sync Center. C. Credential Manager. D. User Accounts. Correct answer? D. User Accounts. User Accounts is the control panel utility that allows a technician to manage user permissions and access levels on a Windows computer. By configuring standard user accounts instead of administrator accounts, the technician can ensure that remote desktop users can access the system while preventing them from installing software or modifying system settings. Question 5. What is the name of the Mac OS X search tool? A. Search. B. Searchlight. C. Siri. D. Spotlight. Correct answer. D. Spotlight. Spotlight is the built-in search tool in Mac OS X that allows users to quickly find files, applications, emails, and other content on their system. It provides instant search results and can also perform web searches, calculations, and unit conversions. Question 6. Which of these allows a program to activate a hardware device like a webcam? A. Application Programming Interface. B. Device Drivers. C. Graphical User Interface. D. Video User Interface. Correct answer. B. Device Drivers. Device drivers are software components that allow an operating system and applications to communicate with hardware devices such as webcams, printers, and graphics cards. They act as intermediaries between the hardware and software, ensuring that programs can access and control the device's functionality. Question 7. Where do you type and send text commands in the command line interface? A. Command prompt. B. Command shell. C. Command line link. D. Search box. Correct answer. A. Command prompt. The command prompt is the interface in the command line interface, where users type and send text-based commands to interact with the operating system. It allows users to execute commands, run scripts, and manage system settings directly through text input. Question 8. Which keyboard shortcut opens the system applet? A. Ctrl-Enter. B. Ctrl-Pause. C. Windows Enter. D. Windows Pause. Correct answer. D. Windows Pause. The Windows plus Pause keyboard shortcut opens the system applet in Windows, which provides access to important system information such as the computer's hardware specifications, operating system details, and advanced system settings, including device manager and system protection. Question 9. Time Machine is a Mac OS utility that handles what function? A. Disk defragmentation. B. Antivirus diagnostics. C. Backups. D. None of the above. Correct answer. C. Backups. Time Machine is a backup utility in Mac OS that automatically saves copies of files, applications, and system settings, allowing users to restore data from previous backups in case of accidental deletion or system failure. It enables users to recover individual files or perform full system restores. Question 10. What is the process called that configures and creates the user environment during the setup process? A. Generalization. B. OOBE. C. Specialization. D. WinPE. Correct answer. B. OOBE. OOBE, out-of-box experience, is the process that configures and creates the user environment during the setup process in Windows. It runs after the installation phase, allowing users to set up accounts, configure settings, and personalize their system before first use. Question 11. A user calls the help desk for a simple way to back up large directories on a Linux system. Which command can be used to back up and compress directories? A. tar. B. backup. C. tape. D. pkzip. Correct answer. A. tar. The tar command in Linux is used to create backups and compress directories by archiving multiple files into a single file. It is commonly used with compression utilities like gzip, tar, czf, or bzip2, tar, cjf, to reduce file size, making it an efficient method for backing up large directories. Question 12. If the system you're working on fails to boot up properly, which utility provides a command line interface to troubleshoot? A. fdisk. B. recovery console. C. regedit. D. system restore. Correct answer. B. recovery console. The recovery console is a command line interface in older versions of Windows, such as Windows XP, that allows users to troubleshoot and repair system issues when the operating system fails to boot. It provides access to essential commands for repairing the boot sector, fixing the master boot record, MBR, and managing system files. Question 13. What type of memory stores running programs in a page file on the hard drive? A. Extended memory. B. Flash memory. C. Random access memory. D. Virtual memory. Correct answer: D. Virtual memory. Virtual memory is a memory management feature that allows a computer to compensate for shortages of physical RAM by using a portion of the hard drive or SSD as temporary storage. This process, known as paging, helps the system run multiple applications efficiently by moving inactive data to the page file while keeping active processes in RAM. Question 14. As a system administrator supporting remote users, which protocol would you use to connect to remote user workstations and assist with the native OS interface? A. Telnet. B. RDP. C. TFTP. D. SSH. Correct answer: B. RDP. RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, is the protocol used to connect to remote user workstations and interact with the native OS interface. RDP allows system administrators to control a remote computer as if they were physically present, enabling them to troubleshoot issues, configure settings, and provide user support efficiently. Question 15. Which directory is created in the root directory when you install Windows? A. Documents. B. Fonts. C. System32. D. Users. Correct answer: D. Users. Users is the directory created in the root directory when you install Windows. It stores user profiles, including personal files, desktop settings, and application data for each account on the system. Question 16. In Windows Disk Management Utility, what status is given to a dynamic disk that has been moved from another computer and found by the OS? A. Offline. B. Foreign. C. Connected. D. Online. Correct answer: B. Foreign. When a dynamic disk is transferred from another computer to a new system, the Windows Disk Management tool marks it as a foreign disk. This happens because the dynamic disk's configuration is saved in its metadata, and the system recognizes it as not being part of its existing disk setup. Question 17. What must be enabled to configure 20 new machines to boot over a network? A. Multi-boot. B. Dynamic. C. PXE. D. GPT. Correct answer: C. PXE. To configure 20 new machines to boot over a network, PXE, Pre-Boot Execution Environment, must be enabled. PXE allows computers to boot directly from a network server instead of relying on local storage. It is commonly used for deploying operating systems or configuring multiple systems remotely and efficiently in environments like IT labs or corporate setups. Question 18. What is the Mac OS equivalent of Windows Explorer? A. iFile. B. Finder. C. Mac OS Explorer. D. Safari. Correct answer: B. Finder. Finder is the Mac OS equivalent of Windows Explorer, providing users with a graphical interface to navigate files, folders, and applications. It allows for file management, organization, and quick access to external devices, network locations, and system settings. Question 19. Which feature should you use to align windows on the desktop? A. Cortana. B. Home Group. C. Snap Assist. D. Spotlight. Correct answer. C. Snap Assist. Snap Assist is a Windows feature that allows users to align and organize open windows on the desktop by snapping them to different sections of the screen. This enhances multitasking by enabling users to view multiple applications simultaneously in a structured layout. Question 20. Which utility in Windows 7 would you use to check the health of virus protection and identify possible system issues? A. Action Center. B. Home Group. C. Security Center. D. Troubleshooting. Correct answer. A. Action Center. Action Center is a Windows 7 utility that monitors system security and maintenance, providing alerts about potential issues such as outdated virus protection, Windows updates, and system backups. It consolidates notifications from various security and maintenance tools, allowing users to quickly identify and resolve problems related to system health and security. How many questions did you get right? Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.